In this video, we'll be hunting a box of pennies. I'm really excited for this box because it has 4 wheat penny enders. One right there, one there, one there, and then this one is a 1940 something. So 4 enders, this could be a great box. I'll be looking for any wheat cents from 1958 or older. We'll also be looking for any proofs, foreigns, heirs or varieties, or any other cool things we can find. The next penny video is going to be the sister box, which is that box right there, and that box has 2 enders, so I think both of these boxes are going to be great. Let's start the hunt. I'm excited. I'll bring you in when we have our first find. Just opened the first roll, and I already see our first wheat cent besides all the enders. It's right here. And it is a 1941 out of Philly in decent shape. Roll 2, and we already have our second wheat cent. It's near the back of the roll right here. It is 1946 Denver. Same roll, and I also covered another wheat cent from 1946, but this one's from Philly. Roll 3, and I see a couple more wheat cents and our first foreign. First foreign is going to be a Canadian, and it's a 1998. Then we have a couple wheat cents near the same spot. First one's going to be a 1955 Denver, and then our next one's going to be a 1958 out of Denver. Still on roll number 3, and we have another wheat cent from the 50s. It's a 1956 out of Denver. Roll 4 didn't have anything, but roll number 5, we're going to have a couple more wheat cents. First one is a 1952 from Denver. And our second one is right here. It is another 1952 Denver. Roll 8, and we have yet another wheat cent. It was actually one away from being an ender. And this one looks a little bit more worn. Hopefully it's older. And it's not pre-40s, but it is a 1940 out of Philly, and it's the oldest of the box. Roll 9, and I see the edge of yet another wheat cent near the beginning of the roll right here. This one looks like it's pretty nice. It's probably going to be in the 50s, and it's a 1950 out of Denver. Roll 10, and I see the edge of a wheat cent and an older Canadian. First, we'll take out the wheat cent, and it is another 1950 out of Denver. And then back here is the Younghead Canadian, so it's going to be from 1964 or older, and it's from 1962. Same roll, only a couple coins in. I just uncovered another wheat cent. This one is a 1946 out of Denver. Still on roll 10, and there's yet another wheat cent that I just uncovered, and this one's a 1949 out of Denver. Roll 11, and there's another wheat cent near the middle of the roll right here. This one is another 1952 Denver. Just opened roll 12, and I see a couple more wheat cents. Both are pretty close to each other. Here's the first one. It is a 1958 out of Denver. Then a few coins later, next one, and it is another 1958 out of Denver. Roll 15 is our first wheat cent ender. Just opened the roll. Don't see anything else yet besides the ender, and it is another 1952 Denver. Same roll, and I just uncovered our first pre-40s wheat cent, and it has a mint mark. It's a 1937 San Francisco. That's a great find. Roll 17, and I'm freaking out. It was our second wheat cent ender, and I just opened the roll. We have our first Indian head cent. I'm gonna reveal the wheat cent first. It's just a 1941 Philly, but first Indian head cent I've ever found in circulation right here. And it's a 1903 in pretty decent shape. That is my best penny find ever. I'm so excited. Same roll, and I was so focused on the Indian head cent that I missed a few wheat cent edges. So we're just going to hunt the rest of this roll live. Still so excited about that Indian head cent. First wheat cent's a 1953 Denver. And here's another one. This one is a 1950 out of Denver. And a couple coins behind. We have a 1942 Philly. And back here, yeah, another 1950 Denver. Still so excited about that Indian head cent. It's my oldest coin found in circulation, and it's just so awesome to find. Next roll, just uncovered a couple more wheat cent edges. This one is 1956 Denver. And a few coins later, another one. Pretty beat up, 1949 out of Denver. Same roll, and second to last coin in is another wheat cent. It's a 1948 out of Denver. Roll 19, just uncovered another wheat cent. This one's yet another 1950 out of Denver. Same roll, just covered another wheat cent from the 50s. This one is a 1955 out of Denver. Roll 22, and I just opened the roll and I see just a bunch of wheat cent edges, so I'm just going to hunt this roll live. No, not that one. Oh, here's our first one. It's a 1950 out of Denver. Then a few coins later, we have a couple right next to each other. This is an obverse facing 1945 Denver with a 1957 out of Denver. Yep, that one's one. That one's a 1947 Denver. Another one. It's a 1954 Denver. And I think that's going to be it. So that roll ended up having 5 wheat cents all in the 40s and 50s, but that's still a good roll. Next roll, roll 23, and I'm just going to do the same thing as the last roll because we see so many wheat cent edges again. This is a great box, especially because of that Indian head. Here's our first wheat cent, 1948 Philly. I think that's our first one of those. Here's the next one. It's 1955 Denver. It's a pretty nice 64. Might set that aside. Just looking for the wheat cents right now. Here's our next one. Looks like it's pretty worn. Could be older. And it's just a worn out 1946 Philly. The next one, 1950 Denver. Gotten a lot of those. And here's yet another one, 1956 Philly. And that might be it. Yeah, that's it. That was another 5 wheat cent roll. Roll 24, and I see the edge of our third Canadian cent so far. This one's from 1992. Roll 25, and I see another foreign and a couple more wheat cents. Here's the foreign, it's going to be another Canadian cent. It's a 1975. Here's the first wheat cent I saw. It's a 1936, it's our oldest wheat cent of the box. Another pre-40s, it's always good to see. And then the next wheat cent is all the way back here. This one's from 1958 Denver. Next roll, I see the edge of another wheat cent. Probably going to be in the 40s or 50s. And it's a 1952 out of Philly this time. Same roll, and we have another 50s wheat cent. This one is another 1956 out of Denver. Roll 27, we have another wheat cent. Right here, it's from 1947 Denver. Same roll, just uncovered another wheat cent. It's a last year 1958 Denver. Next roll, roll 28, we have a couple more wheat cent edges. This one's one away from being an ender again. It is 1953 out of San Francisco. That's our first San Francisco minted wheat cent. And the next one's back here. It is a 1944 Philly. Roll 29 is our next wheat cent ender. It looks like there's going to be a few more with it. The ender is a 1953 Denver. Then a little bit later I see 1957 Denver. The next one I see is here. We have a 1952 out of Denver. And the last one is back here. It is a 1958 out of Philly this time. Same roll, and we have one more wheat cent. It's a 1958 out of Denver. Roll 30, and we have another wheat cent. And it's another one that's just one away from being an ender. It is another 1958 Denver. Same roll, another wheat cent. This one is a 1945 out of Denver. Next roll, and I see a couple more wheat cents and another foreign. First wheat cent, it's another one that's one away from being an ender. It's another 1958 Denver. Then later in the roll, another wheat cent, and then a couple coins later, a Canadian. This one's a 1957 Denver. And the Canadian is a 1986. Roll 33, and I just uncovered another wheat cent. It's just another 1957 Denver. Same roll, and we have another wheat cent from the 50s, and it's another 1958 Denver. Just opened roll 34, and we have a couple more wheat cent edges. First, I see the date. It's a 1957 out of Denver. And then further back in the roll, I see a wheat cent reverse. This one is a 1944 out of Denver. Roll 35, just uncovered another wheat cent. This one's yet another 1957 Denver. Roll 39, and I see the edges of a few more wheat cents. First one I see is right here. It is a 1944 Philly. A few coins later, it's a 1953 Denver. And near the back is our third and last one for the roll so far. It's a 1949 Denver. Same roll, and I just uncovered another wheat cent. It's a 1956 out of Denver. Roll 40, and I see the edge of yet another wheat cent. So in the beginning of the roll, probably going to be another one from the 50s or 40s. And it's a 1953 Denver. Same roll, and we have yet another wheat cent. This one is another 1958 Denver. Roll 41, and I'm just going to hunt it live because I see a lot of wheat cent edges, so here's the first one, near the beginning of the roll. 1957 Denver. A couple coins later, 1958 Denver. Then a couple coins later, we have another pre-40s. It's another one from the 30s, and it's a 1939 Philly. I think that's our third one from the 30s so far. 59 in pretty decent shape. That's only my second 59 I've gotten. Not too many of those. We have another wheat cent. It's a 1948 Philly. Damage 63. It's not one. Here's another one. It's a 1946 Denver. And then, not sure if we're going to get any more. No, that was it. But we got 5 wheat cents into that roll, including one that's pre-40s. Roll 42, just uncovered another 1957 Denver. Next roll, roll 43, see a couple more wheat cent reverses. The first one I see is back here. Looks a little worn, probably 40s though. Yep, a 1944 Philly. And the next one's a few coins later. It is another 1944 Philly. Roll 45, and we're going to have a few more wheat cents. First one is right here. It's pretty worn, maybe pre-40s. Nope, just a 41 out of Philly. Then the next one I see is back here. I see this 5. And it is a 1945 out of Philly. And then a few coins after that. This one, and it is another pre-40s, a 1936 out of Philly. Roll 46, and I see another foreign. It is going to be a Canadian, and it's from 2001. I'm going to go through and roll number 47 live because I see a lot more wheat cent edges. I'm just going to quickly go through it, pull them out. And yep, that's our first one. It's a 1948 out of San Francisco. And then, yep, that's one too. 1946 out of Philly. Then here's another reverse. And this one is a 1944 Philly. And then back here there is one more reverse. So this roll had 4 wheat cents, not bad. This last one is a 1956 out of Denver. Roll 48 is our last wheat cent ender. Don't see anything else yet in the back of the roll, but the ender is a 1944 out of Denver. Same roll, and I just uncovered another wheat cent. It's another one from 1944, but this one's out of Philly. Still on the same roll, and I just uncovered another wheat cent from the 40s. And this one is a 1947 out of Denver. Roll 50, and we have a couple more wheat cents, and both of them are one away from being an ender on each side of the roll. First one is another 1957 Denver. And then last one is a another pre-40s, a 1937 out of Philly. That's a great way to end the box if we don't get any more wheat cents. Penny box has been hunted, so let's go over the finds. We ended up getting 3 1959s, 14 S-mints, and 14 2009s. We got 6 foreigns, all were Canadian, including one 1962 Younghead, and I did pull out this 1960 small date that's in pretty good shape. For wheat cents, we ended up getting 86, with 5 of them being pre-40s, or common later 30s, and then yeah, most of them were in the 40s and a ton in the 50s. Then in terms of copper, got about a little under halfway full, but still that's pretty good for one box. And then the find of the box, of course, my first ever Indian head cent. 1903, it's my oldest coin found in circulation so far, and I'm just so surprised we got it, and I'm so happy we found it. Overall, this was an amazing penny box, and I'm excited to hunt the sister box in next video.